Hello, my name is Rodrigo Burberg. I'm here to present VinHX and carinspections.com. Too often, people buy vehicles, used vehicles, thinking they're getting a great deal. However, this often turns out to be a nightmare because of the hidden mechanical defects. Our goal is to empower users with as much information as possible for them to do smart buying choices. So one of the options is to buy a VIN history report like Carfax. One of the main issues is that they're very expensive. A single report is $44. And why is this so expensive? This is attributed to them having an insurance that really nobody uses. And you're really buying a brand name because all of this data is sourced from federal databases. And this creates an opportunity to provide the same data at a fraction of the cost for consumers. So our solution is providing that data at a fraction of the price, right? Without the overhead and complexity of a complex business model. If we compare this is the website, and that's a comparison table. Basically, we're not going to offer insurance, right? But we're going to offer the best pricing available. So is this enough for some buyers? For some buyers, it is enough, right? They may decide to buy a vehicle or not to buy a vehicle, but for others, it's not. They may actually want a mechanic on site so that they can actually check the vehicle and see the true condition of the car. So that's where carinspections.com comes in. We'll go ahead and send out a mechanic nationwide. So there's a lot of people that buy cars in Houston, right? So it becomes problematic when, let's say that I want to buy a car from Facebook Marketplace, but it's very cheap compared to buying it from a dealership. But sending a mechanic, that's cumbersome. So over here, we're doing everything. We'll send a mechanic and do a report for you, right? We'll do a cost estimate of the repairs, and that's the only way to know the true condition of a vehicle. So a lot of people were asking me, is this a viable business plan? So Lemon Squad has been in the market for about 6 years, and they do 55,000 inspections, right? So I just went through the competitor and say, how can I improve this? And basically, with us, you're getting a free VIN report, and that's for VinHX, the first website, right? So we're doing cross promotion, right? So every lead can be another sale to the other website. We're also providing cost estimates of labor and repair. And as you can see, we're basically beating them in these metrics at least. So the moat, our synergy of both websites, if we promote one, that's going to lead to sales in the other, right? This creates credibility, increases exposure, and having a shared customer service for both websites decreases our bottom line expense. So we can have one customer service for both websites at the same time. And this just reduces our cost of customer acquisition by a lot. The opportunity here, basically both are B2C, so we're selling to consumers, right? For the VIN reports, we will first focus on selling to consumers at a cost-effective price, offering volume discounts. And for example, let's say you're buying a vehicle, right? It's not viable to buy 4, 5, 6 Carfax reports right now. So over here, this is actually something that's more viable, right? If you're somebody that's a recurring customer. And what we found out is that a lot of the people that buy these types of reports or use them, they're returning customers. So we want customer retention and repeat customers. For carinspections.com, our standard price is $199. We also have plans for exotic, RVs, commercial truckings, and those have higher margins. After the mechanic pays, we will pay them for the job. There's also other opportunities for revenue, so that, for example, within both of those websites, we can add transportation, insurance, and many other verticals within the auto industry. And really, we only need to implement other existing platforms. We don't have to build it ourselves to get revenue for them. As this is scalable, we can then expand maybe to Canada, right? What is a realistic 3-year projection? We see that 30% of capturing our competitors' market is very realistic, and that's 15,000 orders a year. That sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. That's just only 41 orders per day. That translates to 1.2 million in profit. And for VinHX, we estimate 6% of our closest competitor. Down the line, we want to exit within 3 to 4 years in a 9 to 23 million. So the team is basically me. I build software. I have experience in building end-to-end software. Right now, there's Cameron County Appraisal District is using a software that I built. So yeah. So our ask is $75K to operate the next 6 months. This lets us 60% in customer acquisition because basically it's already built, and this is a savings of 60 to 90,000. The rest in operational expenses and 10% in cash reserves. So this lets us focus the majority of the budget and growth. So the timeline, next month, launch carinspections.com. In July, VinHX. During that whole time, do iteration cycle to improve business processes so that we can optimize them and then scale, right? We want to scale at a manageable level. At that point, we will integrate other verticals. And lastly, we want to become a federal data provider, and that will reduce our cost of data substantially, to even maybe give them at $9, right? So in 3 or 4 years, we can exit the whole thing. So any questions?
How many jobs do you anticipate creating, taking into account that you need mechanics and, of course, customer service?
So it depends. The mechanics are going to be contract workers, so it's not going to be full-time jobs, but there's going to be a lot of jobs that are part-time and flexible, right? So we'll send a lot of jobs to a lot of people. For example, I think Lemon Squad, they do 55,000, and they have about 2,000 mechanics. So in terms of a heavy salary, no, it's not, but it's going to be flexible to where they can accept or decline the jobs and it's up in their schedule. So it's a nice extra for them.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How are you going to be measuring the competition with Kelley Blue Book, Car Inspects, ClearVin, and VinSpec?
Yeah, so our mode right now is essentially providing a service that the pricing model is different from everybody else. The closest one there, I'm not sure which ones we mentioned, but our closest pricing model would be Vin Audit. So, yeah.
So do you think with your price point, do you think it's going to be sustainable?
Yeah, I mean, with volume, I can bring the cost of the data down by a lot. So right now, as long as we can even maintain, that's fine. With more volume, we can get by 300% the cost of data. The whole goal is to reduce the cost of customer acquisition, and I think by combining both of these, we are decreasing the bottom line and expense, and we can lower the cost of customer acquisition.
And we are at time. Thank you.